I wanted to talk to you because I think your story is going to be very helpful for people suffering from mental conditions or they know someone who is. And I think people's mental health is top of mind right now.
Yeah, I'm glad you said condition rather than illness or disorder. For myself, I feel like illness and disorder can be more stigmatizing negative words, like there's something wrong with me that needs to be fixed. Whereas condition is more like that's just a part of who I am.
Right,
You're
right.
using that term.
In your journey, you talk about your journey really beginning with a late night call that you had with your parents when you were studying at Yale. And the call that you had with them, it so concerned them that they got in their car and they drove to New Haven, Connecticut to check on you to make sure that you were okay. And they ended up taking you to a hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. And then you ended up voluntarily committing yourself into that hospital. Was that when your life changed?
Definitely one of the major turning points for me. I had already spent 2.5 nights staying up till about 6 a.m. every night. And I wrote 39 pages in those 3 nights, a manifesto called My Religion, where I talked about philosophy and psychology and society and had these great ideas. And they were also very disorganized. And
Mhm.
so I called my parents, yeah, in the middle of the night, as you said. I had an apple in my hand and I was describing to them how profound the shape of this apple is. It's the circle of life and it's the Adam and Eve story. And my dad is a psychiatrist, my mom's a social worker, and my brother was with them too, and he's an anesthesiologist. And so they were concerned, as you mentioned. They drove up through the night. They took me to, actually, it was the Department of Undergraduate Health, and it was there that a psychiatrist recommended I go to the hospital.
Mm.
And I was totally shocked because I thought that I was doing great. I felt ecstatic and happy. I was so creative. I was reducing the universe to a single point, the triumvirate being self, other, and God. And I just finished that proof when I got called into the doctor. So I was totally shocked. And I said, okay, well, give me a few hours. I'll take a walk with my family and I'll calm down and I'll show you I'm fine. And the doctor would not let me do that.
Mhm.
He took my parents into another room to, because my mom was very against me going to the hospital and he wanted to discuss the options with them. I was left in the room with my brother, and I remember completely breaking down. I started weeping and telling him I didn't want to go to the hospital. I mean, I really didn't want to go. I did technically voluntarily admit myself because, as I later found out from personal experience, involuntary hospitalization is much worse. I was able to go pretty smoothly to Yale New Haven, and the next morning there, I got my diagnosis of bipolar, and that was a turning point in terms of realizing that that is an experience that I went through. At that point, I didn't think it was necessarily even a part of who I was, so I was still figuring it out at that point.